Hi. I've been thinking about the season that we're in, and the season that we're in is a season of going inside and of beginnings, but it's also a season of endings, and it's an eternal time, and so I think about the gift of silence and how winter, the snow all comes down, and the snow comes down, and it gives us a time to gestate and to think about things and to rest. This is also the time of year when the earth is resting, and we want to give her the time and the space to rest and to regenerate and to gestate for the coming year. And we need that too. Like human beings, we're part of the earth, and we need that too. So we need time to regenerate and to rest and to be in the cycle and the season of winter. And it gets cold outside for a lot of us. For some of us, it doesn't. But no matter where we are, we have seasons, and the seasons change. And it gets cooler and warmer, even though it may be cooler or warmer in different places. But I think what's important is to recognize that um, we have this opportunity to extend honor and respect to the earth, to ourselves, to one another. If we can begin to really honor the cycles and the seasons, not only the cycles and seasons of the year, but also the cycles and the seasons of our lives, the cycles and seasons of the day, the different times of day. And so, looking at our rhythms, and our rhythms are whacked. Like our rhythms are like, what is going on? Like, not okay. And so, and so, how can we engage in a cycle and in a rhythm where there is rest and then gestation? And after we gestate, then these little seeds will come, these ideas, because we've had time to reflect and we've had time to integrate the last year and our last experiences. And so, as we're coming into this year, we can look at our past year, and we want to look at, oh, well, how can I close the year well? And I find that, throughout the year, we have the gestation, then we have the planting, then we have the nurturing, and then we have the harvest, gratitude for the harvest. And so, to begin the year, it is the gestation, and in the gestation, we're able to find and to remember who we are. And that means that we have some silence, or we have the opportunity to really go inside, to have a conversation with ourselves, to have a conversation with nature. There's this really beautiful poem. It's by Thomas Merton. And it says, the reality that is present to us and in us, call it being, silence, and the simple fact that by being attentive and by learning to listen, or recovering the natural capacity to listen, we can find ourselves engulfed in such happiness that it cannot be explained. The happiness of being at one with everything in that hidden ground of love for which there can be no explanations. May all grow in grace and peace, and not neglect the silence that is printed in the center of our being. It will not fail us. And so I think about not neglecting these ancient cycles, these ancient seasons that ask us to pay attention and to be able to just hear ourselves. And if we can hear ourselves, we can say, oh, wow, maybe I'm not doing so well. What can I give myself? What do I need in order to have a sense of well-being, and to disengage from what is causing me distress, or causing me anxiety, or causing me to not be okay with myself? And then I can be in a different conversation. I can start a new conversation with myself, or I can pick up a book, or I can watch an inspirational video, or I can listen to someone that I respect or admire, or I can call a friend, or I can take a walk. But I can adjust myself so that I can receive any other kind of input. And not only from the external world, but also input from myself, where I can talk to myself in a way that is encouraging and acknowledging and loving. And sometimes that just means I can just say to myself, even if I don't feel it, I can just say to myself, I cherish you. I care about you. I love you. You're amazing. You're doing your best. It's okay. Keep going. Like, we can be loving to each other, and we can set limits not only with others but also with ourselves about, okay, um, I need you. We're going to go in another direction right now. We're going to go in a more positive direction, in a loving direction, and we know oftentimes we can explore, discover what loving feels like. Um, and so it is loving to close one thing well and to open the next thing well. And for me, I've been practicing Yalda, which is an Iranian holiday on the solstice, and that feels like a really powerful way to end and to begin. On the longest night of the year. That feels really good. Also, there's New Year's Eve celebrations globally everywhere in the world. Um, we also have ceremonies. I have ceremonies with my family, and we do ceremonies where we end one year and begin another one, and we begin it with prayer. But however you do it, prayer, meditation, Yalda, we read poetry and talk about, the elders talk about, these are ways that we can, these are the prayers for the coming year. The poems are really like little oracles. And so we have ways that we can be inspired. And so, what are the ways that we can be inspired? A way to begin also that I really appreciate, that I've seen globally, and as I've had this privilege to travel to many places, is that there's always these extensions of honor and respect, and I am wanting for us to remember how to extend that to ourselves, to each other, to the earth, to our communities. And that means to, really to extend honor and respect, means to take our time. And there's this, John O'Donohue, in one of his books, he talks about, I believe it's Anam Cara, he talks about this, or maybe it's his beauty book. But in one of John O'Donohue's books, he talks about how, I'm pretty sure it's Anam Cara, we approach, what if we only met one or two people in our lifetime? How would we approach them? How would we approach someone if we only met one or two people in a lifetime? And so I like to think about just what a wonder that would be, and how, if we could just approach everyone. I often think, oh, what if we could just approach everyone that way? Each person would be an encounter with the sacred. And how can we, or something very special, or something we would really look forward to. And so I just think of the honor and the respect that we can extend if we just feel into that way of opening, where it's filled with wonder and regard and care. And so I just have been thinking about opening well and closing well. And my teacher, Angeles Aaron, used to talk about opening well and closing well. And she used to talk about closing well would be that we would say thank you, that we would do any rectification work that we needed to do. And then we would do any work around, forgiveness, being forgiven, asking for forgiveness, offering forgiveness. And then we would, offer farewell, and then, what is the new chapter if there is one? And if not, that's okay too. But how do we end things? How do we end things, and how do we open things? And so I always like to end and open things with either a poem or a prayer, or meditation or song. So I really enjoying some of these poets here. I also love a lot of the Buddhist. But here's Helen Nearing. She says, "The universe is immense and gorgeous and magnificent. I salute it. Every speck, every little fly on the window salutes the universe. Every leaf has meaning. I think the universe is expanding. It is experiencing and accomplishing, and we have the opportunity to add to its glow. Everybody can love in the place where they are, in the physical body in which we are, in the life in which we are involved. We can add our share of love without leaving the room." Helen Nearing. So how can we add our share of love? And what else is worth doing, really, but loving and caring for each other? We are here to love, and we are here to create a better world, and we're here to learn about love. And I want to thank Angela Arian for being such a gift and my guide and mentor with my other teachers and mentors. But what a blessing to be able to remember that, oh, we're here to love and we're here to create. And so, what am I gestating at this time? Do I give myself the silence, the space that I need? Can I allow the earth to rest? Can I talk about preparations for the next year? Like, how do I want to prepare for the next year? How do I want to care for my family and for my loved ones? Can we just take a couple of weeks to be quiet and to reflect and to winter, to allow ourselves to winter so that we have some energy and we have some seeds to plant come the spring? Have a beautiful week, and I look forward to seeing you with Angelo and Issa next week, and we're going to talk about blossoming. Have a beautiful week.